Am I the asshole if I report a nurse for asking for my number during a procedure? I, 21 female, had an EMG this morning. It's a test where they use little needles and electrodes to check how your nerves and muscles work. It's already a vulnerable situation since you're laying down in a cold room in a backless gown and can't really leave in the middle. And on top of that, I have anxiety as well, and I didn't bring anyone to the appointment with me like I usually do. The nurse who was doing the first part of the test, the electrodes part, because the actual doctor does the needles, made me really uncomfortable. He kept flirting and asking me out, even though I tried to shut it down. Just a few of his comments are listed here. I couldn't remember them all after the fact. Quote, I'm also a personal trainer. Maybe I can help you stretch sometime. Quote, am I charming you? Am I making you nervous? Quote, I want to show you around the city. Maybe we could get together and find a nice spot. Quote, can I get your number? You're so beautiful. Quote, you have such beautiful skin complexion, like a Nubian or an Egyptian. Where are you from? Quote, why don't you date? Why are you single? I want to take you driving. Okay, I'm scared. When I explained I'm happy, single, and I don't want to casually date for religious reasons, he said, you never know. Maybe if we find the right person, I'd love to show you around. He also commented on old scars on my arm. They're clearly old self-harm scars. Literally no other medical professional has ever brought them up. Not even the neurologist that came in right after him. So that felt like he was violating my privacy. At some points, he even held onto my arm in a way that made me really uncomfortable. For context, I've never had a boyfriend, never even held hands with anyone, and I'd never even gotten male attention until recently. I also have really bad anxiety, and during the appointment, I kind of shut down and couldn't think straight. He was clearly older than me, and I felt really vulnerable the whole time. I tried to redirect the conversation, but he kept pushing. At the end, he asked for my Instagram. I said I don't really use it, but he kept at me, saying, you don't want to go on a date, so at least give me that much. You should hit me up sometime. So I gave him my public account and blocked him as soon as I got into the car. I felt so nauseous and guilty sitting in my car, especially because I kept engaging with him and responding to his questions. I feel like I should have said something about how he was making me feel weird, or asked for another nurse, or even complained to the doctor, but I didn't know what to do. I feel like I should have stood up for myself, but on the other hand, I couldn't even think straight, and I was so panicky. Now, on one hand, this felt super unprofessional and inappropriate and unethical. I don't want other people to be put in that position. On the other, I feel bad about potentially affecting his income and job, especially with how things are in the economy right now. And I'm also worried about the possibility that he has access to and can see all of my medical information and personal info. I have no idea what to do, and I'd really like some input or advice from someone who works in the field or has experienced this before. Sorry if this is not nicely written or is kind of repetitive. I literally just got home and I hurried to come post this ASAP. It's not your fault that he was acting like a weirdo and so inappropriate. It doesn't, like, when you're going to get help or you're going to get medical attention, you're not thinking that you have to worry about something like that. And you shouldn't have to worry about something like that. And you really shouldn't have to be like defending yourself when you're trying to get medical attention. That's crazy. So never blame yourself for something that some other creepy weirdo did. Like, that is all his fault, 100% on him. He should be fired immediately. Like, absolutely not. He should not have the ability to sexually harass any more patients, because I'm sure he's done it multiple, probably hundreds of times before. And that is really scary to think about. And that's just like that's such an awful situation to be in. Like, I'm in my most vulnerable position, and you're in charge of my care, like making sure that, and you could really do something to harm me. Like, if I flat out rejected you, or if OP flat out rejected him, he could literally be like, get pissed off and then like literally kill her. That's so scary. Like, it's giving The Good Nurse, but like not, because it's literally not the same situation at all. But you know how that movie, The Good Nurse, if you've ever seen it, if you haven't, spoiler alert, but how he literally like it's actually a real case, I think, that happened. It's like based on a true story. He killed so many people because he injected like insulin into the IV bags, into the IV drips. So every time someone put an IV drip on their patient, that person just died. That's scary. That's the kind of stuff that could happen because obviously your nurse has the ability to further harm you if they really wanted to. That's so scary. Someone said report them. Yeah, report them. Someone said, not the asshole. It's incredibly unprofessional that he was hitting on you and asking you personal questions about your scars while working as a healthcare provider. Reporting him is the right move so that he doesn't do it to the other patients. And then someone said, based on what he was doing, I'd be surprised if he was a nurse. It sounds more like a procedure tech or an assistant. As a registered nurse, I'm quick to point out that not everyone in healthcare is a nurse and would ask for caution in categorizing such. Yes, he sounds like a jerk and definitely needs to be reported and followed up on. And then someone said, report him immediately. He didn't feel concerned about risking his job to harass you repeatedly. You should feel safe and secure in your doctor's office. And then there's an update, and it says, thank you for all of your comments. I really appreciate the advice and as well as the support. I sent an official complaint to the HR office, and I'm on hold with the patient advocate right now. I really hope that they can make it so that this guy can never do this to anyone ever again. Someone in the comments said to see if I can report him to the state board, so I'm going to do that. Thank you. And then there's a final update, and it's the next day. Okay, so this got a lot bigger than I expected. I usually just lurk on here, but I just want to say thank you again for all of the advice and that reading through all the comments has made me feel a whole lot better. Also, I thank you to everyone who corrected me. It turns out that he is an EMG tech and not a nurse. Good news though, they identified him and I have a meeting tomorrow with the director of patient services for that facility to discuss the matter further, and I'm also going to report him to the ABEM like one of you suggested. Have a good night everyone and stay safe. Thank God, because she's literally saving so many people right now. But because I don't even know, like, that is, imagine he's trying to lure her somewhere and, like, he's a weirdo little freak that's, like, a serial killer, maybe. I don't know. Lord only knows these days. The top comment says, just a little PSA, if a medical professional acts in a manner that is completely inappropriate and or makes you feel unsafe and uncomfortable, report them. Do not feel bad about potentially affecting their income or job. It isn't your responsibility to care more about their employment than they do. Tea. Literally tea. Oh my God, the amount of hair I have on my sweater right now is actually insane. And then Anal Ukulele said, this post makes me so angry. Not at OOP, because I really feel for her, but that disgusting and unprofessional EMG tech. I'm an operating room nurse myself, and I never have I ever sexualized a patient. The thought of it makes me angry, nauseous, and sick. The one reason I truly dislike nurse/doctor patient corn. Edit. What? I'm scared of that. I didn't know that was a thing. There's so many niche corn, and I'm not talking about corn on the cob. That it's like crazy. It's like, I mean, there's very inappropriate ones, but then also like stepsister gets stuck in a dryer, or like that's not even that niche, honestly. There's definitely more niche corn out there than that, but I wouldn't know because I've never been addicted. I've watched previously before a couple times. I mean, I've watched like when I was younger. Oh my God. Do you guys remember, like, if you guys are around my age or like, you know, the Two Girls and One Cup? Me and my friends, we had a St. Patrick's Day party in 6th grade with like me and like 15 girls. And we were like, guys, let's watch. And we put it on. It was like I'm pretty sure it was on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, which is crazy because I get scared now to say like the F word on here because you could like get your channel taken down because of it. But meanwhile, they used to be putting this video on YouTube. I swear it was on YouTube, but maybe not. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it was in like literally, I think I was in 6th grade actually. And we all just gathered around the computer. We were like, oh my God, what the hell is this? This is crazy. But we still wanted to watch. It's actually crazy how, like, curious you are at that age. Like, we would watch anything. We would watch the meat spin thing, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't know, that one might be really niche actually, but to remind you, when you clicked that website, it would come up with a dangling swinging around like this, and the song would be "You Spin My Head Right Around." That is crazy. And yeah, me and my friend clicked on that. We were like, whoa, that's wild. I'm pretty sure I was in like 5th grade at that point. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.